After being held in Russia for more than 5 months now, WNBA star Brittney Griner sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison camp after being found guilty of criminal intent for smuggling and storing illegal drugs.
We want to get the latest now in London from our ABC foreign correspondent Maggie Rulli. Maggie, a lot of people may be shocked that she was sentenced to this, others not surprised at all, but this is just, for a lot of folks, observers, part of the process.
Yeah, exactly, TJ. I think a lot of people weren't surprised by this sentence. It is harsh, but it's exactly what most people feared and expected. We have to look at the history. Now, we know that 99% of people charged on drug crimes in Russia are convicted. But guys, her sentence is severe even by the harsh standards of the Russian court system. She had 1 gram of cannabis oil on her. That's a misdemeanor. But she was sentenced as if she was a large-scale drug dealer. Now, many feel this tough sentence was leveled just to make her a better bargaining tool for Russia and any future potential prisoner swap.
And Maggie, we actually heard from Brittney Griner just before sentencing. What did she have to say?
Yeah, Brittney was given the final word in this trial. And, you know, Amy, it was really the first time we've heard her get emotional. She got choked up, broke down a little bit. You know, she got personal. She talked about growing up in Houston and the values her parents instilled in her. She said the 6 years she spent playing basketball in Russia have made her feel like that country is her second home. And she apologized to her family, to the WNBA, and to her teammates in Russia. But what was interesting is she also took time to plead with the judge for a more lenient sentence. Take a listen.
I never meant to break any laws here. I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling that it doesn't end my life here.
Hearing that, Amy and TJ, and just knowing the sentence that she received, it makes it even harder to hear her say those words.
Okay, but Maggie, so here we are now. So there's another step in this process that needs to take place. And these wheels are turning about a possible prisoner swap. The foreign minister for Russia, Sergei Lavrov, he seems to go back and forth about when and if he's ready to talk. He says now he is ready to have the discussion. So where are we on a potential prisoner swap?
Yeah, well, TJ, I would say there's certainly hope right now. The Biden administration remains very vocal in their determination to bring her home. And sources tell ABC News that the offer that the Secretary of State proposed last week would include swapping Griner and former Marine Paul Whelan in exchange for the notorious arms dealer Victor Bout. He's currently serving a 25-year sentence in the U.S. That deal is supposedly on the table, but guys, Russia has yet to agree to any swap. And there are some suggestions that they may ask for even more people to be freed in order to make that deal. Now, at the same time this is all going on, there are other Americans who are serving time in Russia, some on similar offenses just like Griner's, and there have been growing calls in the States to have them included in this deal as well. So, guys, while there's a lot of hope, I would say there's still a lot of hurdles to jump through to get that deal done.
Yeah, and also, Maggie, we know that Griner has the right to appeal this all. Do we know who her attorneys are going to go in that direction, and what's the sense of what the Russian courts will do in response to that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is what we're watching right now. Her lawyers have vowed they will appeal. The judge has given them 10 days to do so. And we understand that Brittney will remain in a detention center as she awaits that appeal. She won't go to the penal colony just yet. But guys, when we talk to legal experts, it seems is that as far as that chances of the appeal actually going through, most think the likelihood is slim to none.
But Maggie, one last thing here. We've seen some of the images of her in court and behind bars in a cage, essentially. What do we know about how she's doing, her health? She's put out some stuff and made some pleas to family, even to the president in some of her writings. But what do we know just about how Brittney Griner's doing?
Yeah, TJ, we've been following this so closely here, and when we watch her be brought in every day to that trial, she's in handcuffs, escorted by really high-level security, police dogs, put into that cell. I mean, just images that are really tough to wrap your mind around. But she has stayed remarkably upbeat. You know, we have producers in that courtroom with her. They talk to her nearly every day. She says she's doing okay, says she's being treated all right. We've seen her hold up photos of her wife back home, sort of sending messages to her family, told her family she loved them as she left the final day of the trial just yesterday. You know, TJ, I think what was telling was when that verdict was read, she kind of just sat there with a stone look on her face. We heard her get emotional finally yesterday for the last time. And when her lawyers were asked after the trial how she was doing, they said she was tired. She was exhausted and just really struggling to wrap her mind around what was happening. She even called the final day of the trial doomsday. So I think while she's been putting on a strong face, clearly this is weighing on her, and facing that 9 years in a penal colony I mean, that would weigh on anyone, guys.
Yeah, no, it's unimaginable what she's going through and how she's getting through, not just day by day, but minute by minute. So thank you very much, Maggie Rulli. We appreciate it.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.